up on Soldier Summit. It's in Utah. It's on Highway 6. It's in between Price and Provo. Price and Provo, Utah. And I come up through here many times I've driven through here. And as you see, there's nothing here. You don't even think about anything being here. There's a convenience store. There's a little bit of a parking area right here. I've seen trucks parked in there, you know, sleeping at night and stuff. And that's it. It's the mountain range, and this is a pass. We've been going uphill all this time, and now we're cresting right here at Soldier Summit, elevation 7477. And you crest over, and now it's all downhill, 3 to 5% downhill, all the way down to Provo. And I've driven by here many times, not hundreds, but many times. I never thought about it. Soldier Summit, they had to give a name to it for, you know, something. They gotta give some kind of name to it. But I never really thought much about it. All right, so here's the story. This is the end of July. It's July, I don't know, 24th, I think. The last weekend of July. Well, 2 weeks ago was the first or second weekend of July, and I come across these, I parked here, right where I'm at now. I parked over in that area on a Friday night, woke up Saturday morning, and there's all these motorcycles everywhere. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? So, I get out and I look around, and I was probably 200 motorcycles. Police escort the whole 9 yards. So, I took this video of them as they pulled out, and I got in the truck, went on down the road, didn't think much more about it. Later on, I'm getting to thinking, wonder what that was all about. All police escort and everything. Must have been something important. So I started looking into it. Well, I'm at Soldier Summit. Maybe that's a clue. Soldier Summit. Maybe it's a bike rally for soldiers or something. So, anyway, I get to looking around on the internet and looking at like Wikipedia and things like that. I looked up Soldier Summit, kind of find out Soldier Summit is named after some soldiers that died. Back in the mid-1800s, during the Civil War, there were some soldiers, Union soldiers, based down this hill in the Provo area. I can't remember the name of the fort. I'll post it here. But there was a bunch of Union soldiers. Well, the Union was a Union at the time, and there were Northern and Southern soldiers all in the Army. The war breaks out, and a bunch of Southern soldiers decide, hey, I don't want to fight for the Union cause anymore. So they pack up and they hightail it back to the South and going to join a Confederacy. Well, they're coming up in July. They're coming up this hill. They get to the summit up here and they make camp. And there's a freak July blizzard. Anyway, several of them die, right? So they named this area Soldier Summit. Oh, that's all good and well. And they're doing a bike rally to commemorate that, I guess. So, now that we know how the name of Soldier Summit comes about, I got to read a little bit more about the town, or the area, and realized it's a ghost town. A ghost town? I didn't know there was a town here. See all that concrete over there? Those are foundations for the houses. And if you go on Google Earth and look down, you'll see there's row after row after row of houses. There's a foundation right there. There's one right there. There's another one right there. There's another one right there. There's several of them, okay? And then, when you look on Google Earth, this is the old foundations from back in the early 1900s, 1920s, in that area. All right, then you come over here. Behind these houses, there's streets. Who knew? You can't tell from this, vantage point. But you get up high and look down, you can see all that. So, there used to be a town here. Well, what happened to it? Well, it wasn't a mining town. It wasn't, gold mining or something like that. It's a railroad. So you got the railroad. There's a railroad over there, if you can see it, right over here. And back in those days, back in the early 1900s, this railroad came through here. It was steam locomotive. And they had to have stations every so often to refuel the water, you know, for the steam and coal and things like this. So they couldn't go for, you know, like today, locomotives go forever. Back then, they had to be refueled pretty often. Well, you pull in these big old mountains and it uses up all your steam, all your water, and all your coal. You got to refuel. So that's what this town was. That's what this town was a refueling stop, and there was workers here. So anyway, the railroad decided one day they come up with the diesel locomotives. They upgraded the diesel locomotives, and they didn't need this station anymore. So all these houses got moved out, and they moved them east of here to a little town of Helper. Helper, how do you get the name Helper? Well, that's where the Helper engines were. That's where the locomotives, when you're pulling big mountains, they add more and more locomotives to it. So on flat ground, one locomotive can pull a heck of a train. When you get in the mountains, you need 3 or 4 to pull that same train. So they're Helper locomotives. Well, that's how the town of Helper got its name. They moved all these houses down to Helper. That was in the 50s or 60s, something like that. So then, they still had a little bit of a town here, all the way up until 73, I believe. And I'm thinking, wow, that wasn't that long ago. So it's not your Old West abandoned mining town, ghost town. It's a modern day ghost town. There's no work. So people move on. So, anyway, I'm driving down the road all these years, and I'm seeing these mountains, and I'm seeing this beautiful scenery, and seeing all this stuff. And I'm, you know, and you can see a lot from the cab of a truck at 60 miles an hour. But you miss a lot at 60 miles an hour. So, I've been trying to find things like this that I've missed over the years. And I've driven over this pass right here, just like this truck's doing right now. I've driven over this pass dozens and dozens of times and had no clue that there was a town here. Used to be a town here. Why would you? It's not, but pay attention, you know, slow down. Learn something every day. You'll be a better person. You'll learn something. Always learn at least one thing every day. Well, anyway, ciao.